If you've ever felt invisible in a crowded room, this story is for you, so stay with me until the very end. And if moments like this touch your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like these remind us why kindness still matters. The restaurant was dressed in Christmas the way magazines always promise it should be. Soft golden lights draped like constellations across the ceiling, red ribbons tied neatly around candle jars, a piano in the corner playing carols slow enough to sound like prayers. Laughter floated between tables, the kind that comes easily when people believe they are exactly where they're meant to be. At a small table near the window sat Clara, her hands wrapped around a mug she hadn't touched in 10 minutes, watching snow gather on the glass like quiet witnesses. She had spent an hour choosing her dress, another half-hour calming her nerves, and the rest of the day convincing herself that tonight could be different. Tonight was supposed to be her second chance. Her blind date had arrived on time, glanced at her once like she was a menu item he hadn't ordered, and spent 15 painful minutes answering texts under the table. When the waiter asked if they were ready to order, the man stood, muttered something about a phone call, and never came back. Clara didn't cry right away. She smiled politely at the empty chair, as if it might apologize. She told the waiter she'd wait a few minutes longer. She told herself not to make a scene. But humiliation has a way of settling into the chest, heavy and cold, and by the time the piano reached the chorus of Silent Night, her eyes burned. Across the room, Jack noticed. He hadn't meant to. He was there with his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, who was carefully counting the marshmallows in her hot chocolate and announcing each number like it was a scientific discovery. Jack had chosen the restaurant because it was warm, affordable, and open late on Christmas Eve. Being a single dad meant finding places where small joys didn't cost too much. He saw Clara wipe her cheek quickly and stare down at the table like it had betrayed her. He saw the empty chair. He recognized the look. It was the same one he'd worn the night his wife packed her things and said she needed a different life. "Daddy," Lily whispered, tugging his sleeve. "That lady looks sad." Jack followed her gaze and felt that familiar ache, the one that shows up when you know exactly what someone is feeling because you've lived there too. He hesitated. People don't like interruptions. People especially don't like pity. He thought about staying seated, finishing dinner, going home. Then Lily slipped off her chair before he could stop her and waved at Clara with a smile so open it felt like a door. "Hi," Lily said, standing beside Clara's table. "Do you like snow?" Clara looked up, startled, then softened. "I do," she said, surprised to hear her voice steady. "My daddy makes the best cocoa," Lily continued proudly. "He puts extra marshmallows." Jack arrived a second later, apologetic and awkward. "I'm so sorry," he said. "She's fearless." Clara laughed, a real laugh, thin but honest. "I think that's a good thing." Jack glanced at the empty chair, then back at her, then at Lily, who was already pulling one of the extra chairs closer. The words left his mouth before he could overthink them. "Can we join?" There was a pause. A moment where the world held its breath. Clara could have said no. She could have protected her broken evening. Instead, she nodded. "I'd like that." What followed wasn't magic. It was better. They talked about ordinary things. Lily's school, Jack's job as a delivery driver, Clara's work at the library. They shared stories that weren't impressive but were true. The waiter returned, relief written across his face, and took their order like this had always been the plan. Clara felt the tightness in her chest loosen with every minute that passed. No one was evaluating her. No one was leaving. Jack listened the way people do when they aren't trying to impress you. Lily insisted on toasting, new friends, raising her mug so high she nearly spilled it.